Hey, it's Mark, and we're back with another virtual real estate video. We are in Upland, where we do most of our virtual real estate videos. And today we're talking about Los Angeles still. The collections were announced. We're going to look at the data and what's happened since those were announced and see what's going on there. Because I think Upland may have messed up with all Los Angeles. Stuff just isn't selling, and it's not minted out, even in collections. And I think they may have printed or minted or created way too many properties and made them way too expensive and really overshot what the or how much money is in the game, how many players there are with this city. And it isn't just LA that I think it's hurt. I think it's hurt all the cities. All the cities have seen price drops. And so we're going to look at some of that information. And we're also going to look at what I was able to mint, what I was able to get in collections, and if I made some money. And we'll talk about the little contest they had here too, with selling properties in Los Angeles. Sorry I didn't have any videos on that. It was Super Bowl weekend, had a lot of kid stuff going on, a lot of real estate stuff going on, so I haven't had a video for a while. Now, of course, we love the likes, comments, shares, keep those coming. And like I said, I have a real estate investing business, broker business as well. If you want to check that out, check out Invest for More YouTube there. Okay, so we're looking at Los Angeles, and the collections that were announced, I went over this last week, were what? Sherman Oaks, Studio City, Hollywood, Windsor Square, Savoy Hills, if I'm saying that right, Larchmont, Los Feliz, East Hollywood, and some streets like Sunset, Ventura, Wilshire, and some other ones there that I missed. Oh, and of course, yeah, Venice was a collection. Pacific Palisades was a collection. So lots of places were collections. And I don't know if any of the neighborhoods that were collections, except for, well, there's one, have minted out yet. That's crazy. And I think Hollywood is the only one that's minted out. I don't think any of the other ones, unless Larchmont has. I don't think it has. Let's check it out here. Or maybe it has. Maybe that and Hollywood are the only ones. That could be. Okay. Which is crazy, because I think a lot of people were basing their strategies, or buying strategies, or flipping strategies, collection strategies, on what happened in other cities, where at least like the Bronx, Berkeley, Alameda, those releases, everything sold out immediately, right? And you couldn't get a property anywhere, let alone in a collection. And now there's still stuff able to be minted in all of these areas, like Los Feliz. You can log in here. There's properties to mint right here. But they're so expensive. That's the problem. And there's just so many properties. So even, when they announced the collection, I bought a few properties in here, and I probably overpaid because I thought there'd be enough demand to get these collections. And there simply wasn't. There wasn't that much demand. I paid, that wasn't too bad, $32,000 for this right after the collections were announced. And then what we can do to kind of analyze how good of a deal we got, we can, try and get the most of the neighborhood in this view. Click on what's for sale, $24,000. Oh, barf. So you can see there's really cheap stuff for sale in here. Now it's small, but it's still very cheap. And then we can also go to this site, which is upexland.me, and we can click on the city and click on the neighborhood. You can also click on it if it's a collection. Yep, they're on there now. And then we can see everything that's for sale in this area and the prices. And so, maybe I wasn't in the right neighborhood. Let me see here. What's going on here? Oh, wait, there we go. It wasn't sorting it right. So, 24,000 Upex, the floor is so low, and that's for a collection. And this is what's really interesting. We can go to the markup. You can buy stuff for less than mint price in a collection area in Los Angeles. Look at that. 97%. You're buying it for less than people minted it for in Los Angeles. So it's kind of crazy. And that's not the only neighborhood that happened in. We can go to East Hollywood. I think the same thing is happening there. Sherman Oaks. And stuff is really, really cheap in Sherman Oaks. And you can do the same thing. So, look here, properties for sale for $11,373. And we go up here, And Sherman Oaks, we'll check out what's for sale in there. And here we go. So, sale price $10,999. Under $11,000 you can buy stuff for just barely over mint. And these are super duper cheap properties too, which is crazy. So you can't quite buy them for less than mint, but right at mint and for really affordable price. All right, so here we are in Sherman Oaks, and you can see there's still tons of properties that are still unminted here. And it's just crazy how even the properties in the collections did not get minted out. They're fairly affordable. There's just way too many properties in Los Angeles. And we did see some streets do okay. So if we go back here and pull out Sunset Boulevard, I bought 9 properties here and sold them from $95,000 to $115,000, which was pretty good, but I sold most of them before the collection. I had one left over, and now you can see the floor is at 164. So the floor for the streets did well if you hit that collection, but it's very risky because if you missed it, you got basically nothing. You can't even sell them for mint price. So I was happy I sold them beforehand. The one I sold after the collection was announced, I sold for $175,000, so that definitely sold for more. But that's a big risk, hoping you hit that collection. And it wasn't just Los Angeles that got hurt by this as well. If you go to even San Francisco, which is one of the most popular places, one of the first places in the game, well before I started, the mint prices are, let's see if we get to them, 31 if you want to pay dollars, but if you get into the UPX, let's see, scrolling, 32,000. It was like 45 or 50,000 before LA was released. And I even bought properties in the low 30s in a collection here, part of the Sunset Project, which I'm still learning exactly what that is, but someone commented on one of my videos, so I bought some properties here for 35,000. So cheap. And the floor all over has been dropping across the whole game. So Oakland, you know, this was 15, 16, maybe even 17,000 at one point. 12,000, way cheaper. Same thing in the Bronx. Those properties, the floors, the collections have all been dropping. And you can kind of see the floor in the Bronx now is 11,000 and some. There you go. Where it was 14, 15, maybe even higher before that release. So a lot of them have been dropping. I was buying properties in Riverdale, that collection, and I was getting really, really good deals at the time. But now they're not quite as good of deals because prices have been dropping. So we'll show you. Let's see here. We'll go to Riverdale, and it's very familiar with this area because I flipped a lot of properties here. And now 160 for dollars, which is a really good deal. I bought some there and flipped them for 225, 240. But here you can even get one for 175 UPX, 180 UPX, and usually the floor is around the 225, 235. So if I see any prices like this, I would just immediately buy them and flip them. Now I'm not doing that as much because I think it might take a while to recover and get those prices back up again. So still looking for deals in areas like that, but have to be much more careful. All right, so what will happen next? Who knows? I think prices all over have dropped just because of too much supply, kind of like what happened in the housing crash in the real world a decade ago or so. They built too many houses, had horrible loans, foreclosures came about, oversupply, prices dropped. And that's kind of what they've done to themselves here. And there's so many properties, it'll be a long time, I think, before they're all minted and bought up. And something else I think hurt as well is they had their contest for selling, trading. After the LA collections were released, they had a contest over the weekend. Again, I didn't do any videos because I was busy, but they gave prizes, or will be giving prizes, to the best people who sold the most properties, to the most people with the most profit. So they're encouraging people to sell stuff. And so by encouraging people to sell stuff, it might have hurt the market even more. So after that contest is over, it's done now, Maybe it will settle down. Maybe more people will be buying. We'll just have to see. So I'll see how I did in that contest as well when they announced the winners. I think I was in the running to win something, so I was in the 50 to 60 top range there, and I think the top 200 won something. So we'll see. All right, that's all I've got for today. Love to know what your thoughts are, what you think will happen, how you feel about that LA release now that the dust is settled. Love seeing the likes, comments, shares, all of that as well, so keep those coming. And we'll be back with much more coming up here soon.